All right, sociologists, we made it to day 2 of content. Still continuing on with Unit 1, Introduction to Sociology. Today we're going to look at the where, when, why, and who of the study of sociology and how that developed. So the 1700s and 1800s were a time of radical revolutions. Okay, um, these revolutions were encouraged curiosity of social life and human interaction. We're going to talk about three major radical revolutions and how that helped develop the study of society. Those three events are the Industrial Revolution. In the Industrial Revolution, people flocked to cities, creating modern urbanization problems. Right, there was over, um, it was overpopulated. There were pollution and some sanitary issues. Crime rates started to spike. There were lots of diversity, different cultures coming together and like living on top of each other for the first time ever. So instead of working for themselves, right, like on the farm or owning a little shop, this industrial revolution led to people working for employers, right? Like you were at a factory or on the docks working for the head honcho. Okay? Industrial revolution. Next is the political revolution. Obviously, the American in 1776 and the French in 1789 created a lot of cultural, political, and economic chaos, right? There was a lot of energy and emotions that went into that. And then the Enlightenment period, okay? Revolution in science to make the world a better place. We'll talk more about Enlightenment as we go. All right, so those were the three kind of radical events that led to the study of society. Next, we're going to talk about a few of the fathers of sociology. Not all of them, but a couple of them. So first, Auguste Comte, who lived from 1798 to 1857. He's known as the father of sociology. He was actually the first person to use the term sociology, and that sociology would reform society by making it a better place to live. Right? That's truly what Comte embodied. Then we have Herbert Spencer, nice facial hair over there. He applied Darwin's theory of survival of the fittest to society. Said that there's no reason we can't use social Darwinism to look at human beings as well. That society is an organism and natural law is social law. A natural law is social law. So even with human beings, survival of the fittest. That was Herbert Spencer. Then we have Karl Marx, who you guys should be a little familiar with by now from your years of schooling. He's talked about a lot in psychology, sociology, and history. Karl Marx believed the world was made up of class struggles between the working class and capitalist class. Karl Marx is a big critic of capitalism. He believes that capitalism is so bad that revolution is unavoidable because it creates those class struggles. Okay? We'll talk more about Karl Marx as the trial goes on. Okay? Then we have Max Weber, who focused on groups within society rather than society as a whole. So it was still big picture, but instead of everybody, he was looking at groups of society. Okay? Verstehen means to understand feelings and motivations of human behavior. Okay? He wanted to take a closer look at Catholics, Protestants, and the emergence of capitalism. Okay? Big question that he posed that we'll hopefully talk about a little bit when we're live is how would Catholics and Protestants behave differently in society based on their religious beliefs and practices? Okay, we'll come back to that. All right, then we have Emil Durkheim. Okay, so Emil Durkheim conducted the first sociological experiment that we know of. It's a little dark. Emil Durkheim wanted to look into why people commit suicide. Okay, so he was trying to look at groups of people, individual people, to figure out why that happened. Um, and revolutionary findings created an opening for various sociological perspectives, like we talked about last week, to gain credibility. Basically, that human behavior cannot be understood individually, and you have to examine social forces that affect people's lives. Okay, like one question to ponder: why is the rate of suicide higher in Wyoming than it is in Minnesota? Emil Durkheim would argue that it's that isolation piece that you have in Wyoming. So prior to Durkheim's study, suicide was believed to be solely individual, right? It was a solely individual act. So using that sociological perspective and imagination, Durkheim concluded there are four types of suicide based on social forces. So that was the big thing he was looking at, whether it was suicide or something else, that social forces had such an impact on people. We are not going to get crazy into these four different types from this first sociological experiment. It's just a nice example for you on how the sociological imagination and perspective was used even at the beginning of the study of society. All right, so that was a few of the founding fathers of sociology and a little bit about why the study of society developed. That's what I have for you today. I hope that you have a wonderful day.